Hi everybody and welcome to David's Garage. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Richmond boot by Parkhurst in their rust leather on their 602M last. Hey, just want to say thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate everyone who has watched, everyone who has liked, everyone subscribed and commented. It's helped me grow this channel over the last few months. It really means a lot, so I just want to let you guys know I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any boot recommendations or companies you want me to check out, let me know down in the comments. If you guys got any new boots recently, let me know down in the comments. Always love to hear when people are getting new boots, what their experience is, and what their recommendations are. All right, so here we go. Looks like they gave me a second pair of laces like standard. There's your thank you card. So it looks like these boots, they didn't come in a boot box. This is the standard way that Parkhurst usually packs their boxes. Other boots, they come in boot bags. So yeah, so here is the Richmond boot by Parkhurst in their rust leather on their 602M last. According to their website, Parkhurst, they say that this leather is a full grain vegetable tanned leather. Comes from their tannery in Spain that they partner with a lot to get some of their leathers. They call this color rust, and I guess they previously released it in fall winter of 2023. They say that the tanning process includes many natural oils along with a heavy amount of wax. You might see a mild pull-up effect to this leather upon wearing, bending, and flexing. The pictures on their website definitely made the leather look a little bit more orange, especially towards the front of the boot. Was expecting probably something a little bit lighter. This is definitely more brown in person. So if you guys aren't familiar with Parkhurst, I would definitely recommend going and checking out Bootlosophy's YouTube channel. He is the Parkhurst aficionado on YouTube. So if you haven't checked out his channel and you're interested in learning more about Parkhurst, definitely go check out Bootlosophy's channel. But Parkhurst, they are an American boot company. They're headquartered, I believe, in New York, Buffalo, New York, I believe. And they have their boots contracted to be built in a factory in Spain, and then they also have another factory they contract with in Portugal. You can see that these boots were made in their Spanish factory, and then the boots are sent back to the US where they're finished in New York by the owner, and he ships them out from New York. And most of their boots are Goodyear welted. They just recently started doing stitch down construction, which just means that instead of doing this welt around the boot, they just stitch the upper leather, this top leather, they just stitch this directly to the midsole and outsole. This leather definitely feels really nice. It's not super stiff actually, it's got a really nice temper to it where it does have a good temper to it, but it doesn't feel like this break-in is going to be super crazy. I would probably say this temper is almost comparable to what I felt when I first wore my Iron Rangers in the Copper Rough and Tough. I don't know, the tongue leather is coming out to a pretty thick 3 millimeters. So I'm not sure if that's the same thickness as the uppers leather, but that's what the tongue is. And since I can't reach the leather on the quarters, I'll just go off of what the tongue is. So this boot is built on Parkhurst 602M last. You can see it's got a nice roomy toe box shape to it. It's not too pointy or narrow in the toe box. So compared to their new 618 last, the 602M last definitely has a rounder toe box, maybe a little bit longer feeling, because the 618 last, when I put it on, it definitely felt not as roomy, not nearly as roomy as the 602M last. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it also appeared more pointy, which definitely makes the boot look more dressy. And I prefer a rounder toe box versus a pointy triangle toe box. Not just because I don't want my toes to be squished, but because I just want my boots to look more casual. I'm not saying the 618 last crushes my toes. The 618 last actually I think fits my foot better than the 602M last. I just prefer the shape and the height of the toe box over the 618 last. Okay, so you can see that this boot is built with a 360-degree Goodyear welt. So Goodyear welt just means that the welt is attached using a machine. It just speeds up the process. And then you can see that this welt is actually a split reverse welt right here. So you can see that they actually cut half of the welt, and instead of they put half under the boot and then another half, they have the other half sticking up. So that's what this little lip is. I don't know if it provides any sort of functional benefit, but in my opinion, I think it's mainly for aesthetic purposes. It definitely makes the sole look chunkier because it gives you that wider lip. So this is actually my first Richmond boot from Parkhurst. All of my boots are plain toe, and Parkhurst, they call their plain toe models the Allen, and then they call their cap toe models the Richmond. And then the models that have broguing on the cap toe, I believe they called those the Delaware. So this boot, it is on Parkhurst proprietary Commando lug sole. I really like this sole. It's got a nice sort of slimmer look or slimmer profile from the side, kind of hides those lugs, while still providing lots of grip and traction, and the rubber compound is excellent. I've never had any issues with traction on these soles, but you know, just one of the big downsides is that you get more dirt, debris, rocks stuck in your lugs. Parkhurst boots, they all come with a nice leather midsole, which is just this layer right there above the outsole, this rubber. So right above there, you can see the nice midsole. I do appreciate that. And then above that midsole, there's the cork layer, which is just filling that cavity created by this welt. And then above that, Parkhurst, they do have they call it a leather blend insole. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but their insole is a nice leather blend insole. Has a half sock liner just on the back half of the boot, just to give you a little bit more comfort. It has a little bit of foam on the heel. So Parkhurst, they do use a steel shank, which is just a piece of metal right here, just to give the boot more rigidity right here, so that way your arch is more supported over this area that's not touching the ground. So these boots, just like most of Parkhurst boots, they come with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyelets and then 3 speed hooks. The tongue is gusseted up until the 4th eyelet, as you can see right there. I also believe that Parkhurst, they use a veg tan heel counter, and they also line the toe vamp with leather. Not sure if you can see that. Let's see, this boot is, let's see, from the top to the bottom, it is approximately just over 7 inches tall. If we're just going from the top to the insole, looks like it is just over 6 inches tall. And then if we were to measure from the inside of the boot, looks like from the inside of the boot, this boot is about 5.5, just barely 5.5 inches tall, if we're measuring from the inside of the boot. If you've seen my other Parkhurst unboxings, you'll know that I really like Parkhurst boots. I think their finishing is top notch. I would put them up there with Grant Stone in terms of value and finishing. I don't know why, but I just really love the look, and I love the build quality, and I love the price of Parkhurst boots. As I've said before in my past videos, I don't prefer a dressy looking boot. I like my boots to be more casual looking, which is probably why I'm drawn more to Parkhurst than, say, Grant Stone. Even though Grant Stone, they do have a lot of nice leathers to choose from on their boots, and they have some pretty cool boot models. So let's take a look at this boot. The finishing does look pretty nice, but I would have come to expect that from Parkhurst. So it looks like this boot maybe had a little bit of an incident with the belt sander, maybe. Does look like something hit it right here. Just take a look at the stitching on the welt. I also love how they do their welt. I think Parkhurst has one of the prettiest looking welts. It's a really nice looking welt joint right there. Let's take a look at the other boot. Yeah, you can see some scuffing here. Stitching looks good. But I would say these are really good quality, well-finished boots, especially for the price. So I really don't mind if there's little minor things here and there with the finishing. Like, I'm not going to, you know, look at the stitches and, you know, count the stitches per inch. As long as it doesn't compromise its functionality, I'm fine with it. If it's only an aesthetic blemish, like I said, I'm gonna be wearing these boots outside, I'm gonna be beating them up, so they're gonna look much worse very quickly. But to me, they're not gonna look worse. As I wear them and beat them up, they're gonna just get more and more character, and I'm gonna appreciate them more and more. All right, so So let's try these bad boys on. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time going over the fit. You know, this is, I think, like the third boot I've done on the 602M last where I've gone over the fit. So these fit just like any other boot I've tried on the 602M last. These are a size 10. I got the same size in these as I got in my Iron Rangers. I'm a 10D in Iron Rangers. I'm a 10 in Truman boots. My average shoe size in sneakers and gym shoes is 10.5. I really do like the fit of this last. The 618 last is definitely tighter in the toe box. It definitely feels a little bit shorter too in the toe box. Hugs my waist and heel better. But this boot, the 602M last, I can still feel my waist being hugged nicely. I don't know, I don't think my heel is seated as tightly as in the 618 last, but still on these boots, on the 602M last, I can still feel my waist being hugged pretty good. So I do like the fit of these. The toe box on the 602M last definitely does feel a little bit longer. I think they do that just to give you a little bit more room and hide it, so that way the boot doesn't look super wide in the toe box. They elongate it to try and hide that extra width that they give you. But I do really like how roomy the toe box is. So Parkhurst boots, they just have standard arch support. You're not going to get anything special. Just like any other service boot, if you want high arch support, you're going to have to get inserts. You're going to have to probably look at some last that has a high arch. So in my opinion, I think Parkhurst, I think their boots are super comfortable. I would even say that the Parkhurst boots that I have felt more comfortable out of the box than, say, my Grant Stone diesel boots that I got. But obviously they're still both pretty comfortable. I'm just saying straight out of the box, I would have to give it up to Parkhurst. So I will say that the leather on these boots does feel pretty stiff and will probably require a little bit longer of a break-in than I'm used to with Parkhurst boots, but that's to be expected. This is a full veg tan leather, which is definitely going to have a higher temper. It's just one of the characteristics of a full veg tan leather. It's going to be stiffer. It's going to require more break-in than, say, a combination tan leather like Chrome XL or just a straight chrome tan leather. I will say that these are probably not as comfortable as my other Parkhurst boots straight out of the box, but it's because the leather is stiffer. But that's what I want. I really wanted a full veg tan leather, so I was expecting a nice stiff leather that's going to require more of a break-in. But the benefits will hopefully be that it's going to develop a nicer patina over time. I'm really excited to see how this leather is going to change and develop as I wear it more and more. Any concerns? I don't really have many concerns. The only concerns I may have are that this leather, since it's a full veg tan leather, is not going to be as weather resistant as, say, a combination tan leather like a Chrome XL. And I do plan on wearing these boots for work just because I really want to test them. I really want to beat them up and just push these boots just to see how much abuse I can put my Parkhurst boots through. But yeah, that's everything I have for you guys today. I just wanted to do an unboxing and show you these boots and give my initial impressions. I really do appreciate you guys watching. If you have any boot recommendations or any other boots you want me to check out and review on this channel, definitely let me know down in the comments. I really do appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.